I wasn't expecting Caitlin Clark to be coming back this early, but ESPN put out an article earlier this week kind of summing up. They was predicting Caitlin Clark to be back by August the 12th. Now, this just came out of the pipeline of the Indiana Fever front office. Let's pull it up right now.
Return of Caitlin Clark. The whole basketball community is holding its breath as the Golden Goose returns. Caitlin Clark's injury status was changed to a game-time decision following weeks of radio silence and unending rumors, shocking everyone in the WNBA community. Finally putting on her sneakers again is the Indiana Fever's franchise player, the league's undeniable ratings magnet, and the most significant player in women's basketball.
Caitlin effing Clark is a game-time decision. She is a game-time decision. She is, as far as I'm aware, someone said she's listed as questionable on the app. Someone said on the app she's listed as questionable. But she is a game time decision apparently. Look, if we're gonna be honest, no, she's a game time.
It's more than just a player recovering from an injury when Clark on the court again. It is the resuscitation of the league as a whole. Without their golden ticket, the WNBA has been hobbling along while seeing its audience numbers plummet like a meteorite. However, the cavalry is approaching, and everyone in this league is aware that their earnings are contingent on the outcome.
Clark may be back, and that will leave a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games left to get ready for the playoff run. Right now, you're looking at the Atlanta Dream, or you're looking at the Phoenix Mercury, which should be very interesting considering all the plots around.
This is the harsh truth that everyone knows exists but no one wants to acknowledge. A startling 1.81 million people watched the Indiana Fever games on average before Clark suffered the groin injury on July 15th. Those figures fell to 847,000 viewers the instant she was removed from the schedule. That 53% decline struck the league like a freight train bearing only sobering reminders of reality.
Do this intelligently. No one person means as much to their league, whatever league it is, as Caitlin Clark means to the WNBA. And no person has done more for their league than what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA. Patrick Mahomes does not mean that much to the NFL. Steph Curry does not mean that much to the NBA. LeBron James does not mean that much to the NBA. She is a monster. When we look back on this, Caitlin Clark will be for the WNBA what Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were.
However, things worsen. During Clark's absence, national WNBA attendance fell by 55% for all games. Give that some time to sink in. The inability of one player to play caused more than half of the league's broadcast viewership to vanish. It goes beyond star power. Any business boss would be sweating profusely at that level of economic dependence.
You can't tell me that the Caitlin Clark effect isn't real. You knew when news broke yesterday that Caitlin Clark was going to be out for a few weeks, that ticket prices were going to go down, but I never expected them to go down 71% for the rivalry game. I can't help but laugh because the first thing that I thought of when I saw this was a quote that we got last year from Angel Reese when she was talking about how people don't just watch the WNBA for Caitlin. They watch it because of her as well. Hate to say it, those numbers don't lie. They're watching because of Caitlin.
The same heartbreaking tale was told by the ticket market. When Clark was playing for the Fever, average ticket prices of $137 abruptly dropped to $80 bargain seller pricing. Tickets, which had previously sold for $86 to an embarrassing $25, fell to $25 when the Chicago Sky played Indiana without both Clark and Angel Reese. Prices dropped from $210 to $95 for even premium games, with the cheapest seats going from $86 to $25. When Clark was unable to suit up, teams that had rescheduled games to bigger locations in anticipation of her playing were left in the dark. The Washington Mystics moved their game to Baltimore especially to satisfy Clark's fan base, but after she was disqualified, ticket prices plummeted from $41 to $14.
My tickets dropped 71% on TickPick after Caitlin Clark injury. The get-in price for the Chicago Sky versus Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever game was $86. After Caitlin Clark's injury announcement is now down to $25. And you Angel Reese fangirls will still believe and think that Angel Reese is the reason why people are watching the W.
According to sports economist Ryan Brewer, Clark might have a $1 billion economic impact this season. Furthermore, those aren't merely exaggerated figures meant to make news. This includes marketing, travel, TV contracts, and all other aspects of being a phenomenon that goes beyond basketball. Her presence alone was worth almost $340 million to the Fever franchise, turning them from a mediocre team into the most valuable asset in the league. The repercussions are not limited to Indianapolis.
Verge of seeing Caitlin Clark become bigger than the sport herself. WNBA viewing attendance is up over 200% since she joined the league. The Indiana Fever actually are outselling the Pacers, averaging over 17,000 attendance per game. That's crazy. $1 billion is the estimated increase in WNBA valuation based on Caitlin Clark alone. $1 billion. Now, this is up about 25% from the total economic value. Crazy to see these kind of numbers. I think we're on the verge of seeing something like MJ Tiger, where the average consumer goes to the TV because of somebody.
The average ticket price increases by 140% when Clark performs on the road, and the average resale price rises to $312. This season, all 10 of the top-selling WNBA games on StubHub featured the Fever. Fanatics saw a 500% rise in sales of all WNBA gear, while Dick's Sporting Goods reported a 233% increase in WNBA merchandise sales over the previous season. Clark is ranked 6th among basketball players, including NBA stars, and among the top 20 selling athletes in all sports. Her $76,535 WNBA salary is dwarfed by her purportedly $28 million Nike agreement over 8 years, underscoring the stark disparity between her worth to the league and her pay.
Clark's agent, Aaron Kane, said Caitlin will never be paid what she's worth by the WNBA because it is quite literally impossible for them to pay her what she's worth. An economist at Indiana University Columbus calculated that Caitlin Clark was responsible for $36 million in economic impact to the city of Indianapolis, and that she is responsible for 27% of the entire WNBA's economic activity for this past season, including attendance, merchandise sales, and television. One player in a big league responsible for 27% of the...
This is what adds even more drama to Clark's upcoming comeback. Since she went down, the Indiana Fever have been in full crisis mode. They were forced to sign 12-year veteran Odyssey Sims to a hardship contract when their backup point guards, Sydney Carlson and Ari McDonald, sustained season-ending injuries in their game against the Phoenix Mercury on August 7th. With just 9 players available, the Fever produced a decent 6-4 record during their last 10 games during Clark's absence, including a resounding 92-70 triumph over the Chicago Sky. With just 1 turnover and 26 points and 8 assists versus Chicago, Kelsey Mitchell excelled in his new role as point guard. Aaliyah during a 4-game run sans Clark, Boston has been shooting 78% from the field and recording impressive video game figures. However, everyone in the company is aware of this painful reality. This time is borrowed. For extended periods, the Fever can endure without Clark, but they cannot flourish. They are unable to compete for a title. They are unable to maintain the enormous ticket sales and broadcast audiences that have made them vital rather than irrelevant. Even Sophie Cunningham acknowledged that they appear to be a different team with and without Clark.
Wondering about Odyssey, she is a guard, 5'8". She's a veteran, 33 years old. This is interesting. She's been an all-star. She's also was 2019 All-WNBA. 2014 All-Rookie Team. She's had some good seasons in here, folks. No, she doesn't have a great history with the three-point shot. But if Caitlin Clark is coming back...
Clark recently discussed the psychological effects of bearing a whole league on her shoulders on Subbard's podcast. She acknowledged that she feels a sense of obligation to perform live and that her absence significantly reduces audience size and ticket sales. Basketball performance is no longer the only factor that puts pressure on players. It's about realizing that her health affects hundreds of jobs, millions of dollars in income, and the future of women's professional basketball as a whole. The heartbreaking expectations Clark deals with on a daily basis are revealed in the text message her mother sent her during this most recent injury. "You've given everyone else a lot of your time. Now is the time for you to take care of yourself. This isn't how most injuries to athletes heal." A superstar is learning how to strike a balance between her own well-being and her financial obligations to the entire ecology that surrounds her. Returning to professional basketball without the benefit of training camp preparation was a special difficulty, as Clark explained. "It's not as though I need to prepare for my first game again through a training camp. You feel as though you've been thrown into game 30. Go attempt to play well, for example." She is coping with the intermittent nature of soft tissue injuries while being aware that each game missed results in significant financial losses for numerous organizations.